Who's in the mood for soup? Today I'm going to teach everybody one of the most versatile soups on the planet, cream of mushroom and onion soup. Let's get going. Same as always, I like to say that when you're cooking you should try to relax. It's not a big deal. Grab yourself some relaxing juice. And let's get started. This is cream of mushroom and onion soup, so we need some onions, we need some mushrooms, okay? Onions, not a huge deal. White onions, yellow onions, red onions, any one of those will work fine. I'm gonna dice this one up. I already had it in the fridge, so might as well. And I'm going to dice it as opposed to slicing it. If you're just gonna do the soup for the soup's sake, you can do whichever one you want to, but I'm gonna use this soup for other recipes. I'm going to use this soup for other recipes down the line as well, so I want to make them as small as possible. So here we go. And I'm trying to cut down on dishes, so I'm just going to throw all this into the pot. I'm not going to worry about a secondary bowl. Sorry about that, everybody. My manager was cranky because the apples I gave her were from Missouri and not Iowa. I would try to tell her they're just as good, and she said, what kind of swamp jockey farmer grew this crap? And then she slapped me in the face, fell over, and went to sleep. She's taking a nap right now, is what I'm saying. And I would like to go on record saying, I like Missouri. Their apples are just as good as delicious apples, okay? And they're probably good for you. But anyway, let's get back to the dish. I have about, 6, but you can go on to 6 or 7 medium-sized mushrooms. These are baby Protabella mushrooms, but you can also do shiitake and that'll work just fine. I'm going to rinse them off, dice them up, and put them in. And once again, into the pot we go. Alright, and into the stew pot I'm going to add about 3 tablespoons of butter, as well as about 2 teaspoons worth of garlic. If you need that in cloves, we'll call that about 2 cloves worth. And there are also about 2 tablespoons worth of extra virgin olive oil in there too, just to give us that extra depth of flavor. My wife always calls it umami. That's her favorite joke. But we're going to let this heat up on a medium-low heat, and we're going to check on it over the next 6 or 7 minutes until it's all soft and kind of cooked through. See you then. Let's check on our soup. Alright, this is looking pretty good, so let's add our flour. So we're going to throw in 1, 2, 3, let's do 4, and if we need more we'll add it in. Let's stir this in. All right, now we're going to add some liquid. All right, and the key to this is to add a little bit at a time. I'm just adding hot water. You're gonna pour in a little bit, stir it up, Pour in a little more, stir it up. And you're gonna think that you ruined it because it gets all gluey and pasty. But if you just keep going, keep adding and keep stirring, slowly over time, it's gonna turn more and more into a soup. And the more liquid you add, the more that you can add later on. And look, it's starting to turn into a soup. How about that? All right, I will be right back. It sounds like my manager is awake. All right, everybody. Crisis averted. My manager woke up and decided that apples from Missouri actually were good. So here we are, doing all great. So anyway, our soup is basically together. I'm just getting my spoon in here, my wooden spatula, to scrape up the bottom, just to make sure there's no extra flour or any flavorings left on the bottom there. There we go. But once you get to this point, you're pretty much in the clear until it's ready to be served. All right, I'm gonna add, about 8 more ounces of water, just one more bottle, I guess. I'm trying to thin out this soup a little bit so that it has more time that it can cook. The last big ingredient I'm going to add is I'm going to add about a tablespoon's worth of chicken bouillon. Okay. A lot of people, when they're doing the roux, will use chicken stock or mushroom stock, and that is perfectly acceptable. You can absolutely do that if you use chicken stock. I do not recommend adding chicken bouillon later. It'll make your soup just a little bit too salty. Yep, just a little bit too salty, and we don't want that. There we go. Just gonna stir that on in. Scrape down the sides, and we're gonna let this cook for about, I'd say, 45 minutes. There we go. Yep, we're gonna let it cook about 45 minutes so that flour can cook out of our soup. Okay, so this is the best day. This is one of the best dishes to use when you want to relax. All right, it's all together. Time to go meditate. Our soup's been cooking for about 25 minutes or so. There we go. Let's give her a taster.
Then he tastes it. He tastes it and tastes it, then tastes it some more.
That is very good. Yeah, that's just about perfect. There we go. Now, if you're doing something else, like if you're wanting to make a gravy or something, and you get this soup to this point, that is a perfect gravy all by itself. So you got 2 in 1 right there. The last thing that this soup needs is about, I'd say about a half a cup or so of whole milk. You can also use whole fat cream, but I think that makes it just a little bit too rich for my taste. If you like it, by all means, go ahead. All right. So we're gonna let that cook through a little bit. I need my wooden spoon. The very bottom of this. There we go. We're gonna let this cook for about 5 minutes or so, and then it's ready to put in a bowl. Okay, and there we have it, our cream of mushroom and onion soup, all plated up. I'm just gonna add a little something to make the eyes kind of pop in there, a little bit of thyme. And that's it. Let's take a taste.
Whoa, Homer, it's like there's a party in my mouth and everyone's invited.
Mmm. That is crazy good. This is something that you could make a big batch of. I remember when I was in school and we'd have like soccer games, tennis matches, whatever, that were out in the very cold weather. We're in Iowa. This would go great in a thermos. Fantastic. Let me take another bite. There are people out there who will think that this is kind of a boring soup, but it's so good because it's so versatile. You can use it in pretty much everything. Green bean casserole has it. The hot dish that I'm doing sometime this week or next has it in there. It's just perfect. Anyway, that's all the time I have for right now. If you guys think that my stuff is cool, please like, share, subscribe. Please send me stuff on Instagram, okay? At dads_cooking. All right, I want to see some of your dishes that you can make. All righty. So anyway, if you want to buy some merch, I'll put a link here in the description somewhere, and follow me on the social medias and all that. I don't do Twitter or X quite as much, but definitely Instagram is awesome. Anyway, that's all I have time for today. Bye-bye. I remember when I was, hang on. I remember